Well, good morning to everyone. God bless you. Thank you so very much for being with me again this morning. Hey, listen, we've come pretty much to the end of this principle that I've introduced, which is called the CUOO principle: communication, unity, obedience, and operations. And we're at this place of the operations. We talked about yesterday how you are that very salt and that of the earth, the very light of the world, which we had already touched, even back in the level of dealing with unity and obedience. And so we've talked about several things that relate to that. So we need to move forward and pretty much bring this to a conclusion. I hope you've enjoyed it, okay? And we're going to move from this on to even greater things. So don't think I'm leaving you, but I just going to finish this principle. And it's interesting that we are supposed to be this salt, this light, here while we're on the planet. Jesus said something that's really interesting. If you will go with me to Matthew's gospel and we look at chapter 13, right around and start at verse 31. And Jesus said, "And another parable put he forth unto them, saying, The kingdom of heaven is like unto a grain of mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field." A grain of mustard seed now, which indeed is the least of all seeds, he says, but when it is grown, it is the greatest among herbs, and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and lodge in the branches thereof. And then he put forth, watch this, another parable unto them, saying, and this is really short, but listen what he says. The kingdom of heaven is like unto leaven, which a woman took and hid in 3 measures of meal till all was leavened. He's saying amazingly that the small will come and become the large. He's saying that it doesn't matter that you're outnumbered. It doesn't matter that there is no one else you can find around you that even understand the kingdom or living kingdom lifestyle, because you are there. The small mustard seed, it's going to grow. You will grow and help that whole situation in place. And whatever you are, wherever you are, your influence will deal with those that are around you, and you will totally conquer the entire place. A little leaven, a little leaven is like little leaven placed in a whole lot of flour, basically. And that leaven spread so seriously so that you now, excuse me, so that you now represent the kingdom of God. Now, this is interesting, ladies and gentlemen. You got to get this. I grew up watching my grandmother knead bread. Now, that ain't happening a whole lot of places now in homes. And seeing her put yeast in that bread, and it was flat as a rascal when she was kneading it and all of that. But when we woke up in the morning, man, that thing had rose up, and she was ready to put that bread in the oven, and that was some good bread, because that yeast was the leaven that was in that bread. It didn't look like that when we went to bed. Okay, when we went to bed, it was covered and it was flat in the pan. But when we woke up, that thing was nice and ready for the oven, because the yeast had done its job. That's who you are. It may look like it's not working, but because you're there, and that's the way you got to approach heaven. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. And I am the representation of the yeast. I'm the representation of the leaven. I'm the representation of the mustard seed. Lord, now move through me so that I can become a great tree amongst these people in this situation. Move, God, so that I can be the leaven amongst this situation, amongst these people, so that I can change the situation. That's who I am, because I am here to operate in the earth. And we talked about it. What have we talked about from the beginning? Said, occupy until I return. And now I'm telling you, the Lord's return is imminent. It is at hand. The Lord's return is at hand, and we know that. Okay. And we got every sign to tell us that. And so as a result of that, we're supposed to be doing our job so that when he returns, he will find faithful people trusting him to do the work of the Lord in the land of the living. God bless you. Have a great one. Occupy until he comes. Bye-bye.